to anybody. I got into this situation because of my life. My life is not like everyone else's life, and I am definitely the last of a dying breed. There's not many of me left who could survive and be the real thing, not be a drunk, not be a drug addict, but to be a human trying to make a difference in the world around him. I was given, this is the set of cards I was giving, and this, I'm trying to bluff the best way I can with what I got. When I was younger, I lived in Minneapolis, and I was homeless as a teenager, and I would sleep under bridges, and I slept in a friend's garage and things like that in the middle of winter, and it's like 40 degrees below zero. It's not very much fun. It's not very much fun, let me tell you. My parents were separated when I was young, and so I went into a lot of foster homes and with relatives and things like that. So I moved around a lot, but I was there until I was about 15, and then I went south, and then went out to the West Coast, and then I came back to Minneapolis, and I stayed there until I was 29, and then I moved out to Seattle. 98, 99 is when I started living in my car, and I slept by the zoo, in my car by the zoo for like 8 years. But I mean, I was lucky, but during that time, I mean, I play my music on the streets, and every day, 24/7, you know, there's kids are sleeping in doorsteps, and I'm a lot luckier than they are. I mean, I got some talent and some drive. I'm not a drug addict. I had a lot of problems with my youth and a lot of problems with those kinds of things, but you know, I consider myself to be pretty lucky, and also to have an insight, to have like a good idea of what people are going through, you know, and why people are in the situations they're in.
Thank you.
You have a good one, Mayor.
Not like all buskers though either. I sell my art. I sell pictures of my art or prints of my art, so I get $20 for one of those, and so that's a little different than just busking by itself. But between the busking and the art, I average, you know, $50 on a weekend night, maybe $40, $30 during the week. I'm a micro businessman. I am a very small businessman. I am so small that I go unobserved and under the system, and I am forgotten. But I am above the system. I am outside the system. I exist outside the system because I think the system is corrupt, and I can't participate because my spiritual truth won't allow me. And whatever that means to someone else, I could care less.
Well, I'm sorry to crowd you, but you're late and I'm early, so beat you.
I try to be encouraging and supportive. Sometimes we're a competition, and money is the root of all evil. So sometimes you can have, you know, disagreements with people over a spot.
So, see you later. Have a nice day.
I'm trying real hard to come up with my rent and be entertaining all at the same time.
Well, it's Saturday night, and you don't own the block.
Yeah.
Well, we can put some boxing gloves on. Let's try that out. Yeah, you think I'm...
Actually, you know, I want you to do well and do better. I think that's great. I just don't want it to be at my expense.
It's not at your expense, though, because you don't own the block.
Hey, you did a service. You don't have to worry.
Well, that's a tight spot.
Hey, so you have got to be here.
That's risky business.
It is.
But it's not even 9 yet, so
Risky business is what's happening.
you're not gonna make much till after 9.
But I'd much rather help somebody step up rather than fall in the gutter, you know. I want to help somebody step up to their best potential, but I don't want to necessarily have to do it on my back, you know. So, advice is, go sit a half a block away. It's no big deal. And, you don't even have to go a full block. If you're a musician, go a full block. But, he's not a musician, so I don't care what he does. I just don't want him doing it where I'm doing it, And because people see me making money where I make, they always try to come up here and take my spot, or the spot where I like to play. I don't own anything, and if I had to, or if I was really pissed off, I would have walked up the street, or if I,
A job, it's a job. It's when it becomes a job that I get most depressed. Because it's not supposed to be a job. It's supposed to be music. It's supposed to be love. It's supposed to be happiness and sharing and caring. It's culture. And so there's been musicians or wandering minstrels for, thousands of years on this planet.
how's it going, kids? I do requests.
And today they're called buskers.
I want to feel like that, but I really feel more like this.
I find that at times it can be a joy, and other times it's just like, hell on earth. To give so much of yourself when you sing, you're pouring your heart out, you're pouring your soul, you're singing, you're giving part of yourself to people. You're trying to move them. You're trying to get them to feel what you're feeling. You understand what I mean? So it's like you're pushing so much out, and that sometimes I feel empty. And it's hard. It can be really hard. I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. I never do. I tell them, get a job, go away from music, do something else. There's some statistical analysis that are out there that goes something like 5% of the people in music ever make a living from it, and less than 0.5% of that 5% ever actually get rich. So getting rich is probably not the idea. Making a difference for people is the idea.
Honestly, it was such a fun night that night, and you had a whole crowd who were all like, body and beats, I say machine.
I'm all about fun. What was your name?
I'm Troy.
Troy, glad to meet you. Timothy.
Timothy, thank you so much anyway. My pleasure. Thank you.
Come out and see me later. I'll be going.
I will. Where did Dane go?
I don't know. I saw Tyler, but I didn't see Dane. I don't know that guy. Life's a piece of shit. You really look at it. And life's a laugh. That's a joke. It's true.
That's right.
Just remember to keep them laughing as you go. And remember that the laugh is on you.
Busking is imperative to city culture, and I think it's a big part of tradition that we need to hold on to. It's culture. It is culture, because before iPods and before, rock bands, before TV, before all recordings and all that stuff, your local busker was the only way you were getting music if you wanted to go out and get it, or you had to go to a dance hall or whatever. But that local musician was hugely important to the community, I think. And I think it's Maybe not as much so now, but I think it's a huge tradition that needs to continue. And I'd tell all the buskers and aspiring musicians is to work your ass off while you're young. So you don't have to be 48 and do this stuff. No, it's not saying I didn't work my ass off when I was young. I think I just was more. I had so many other problems to deal with that I didn't have as good a direction. People in Seattle, especially, I think, take busking for granted. I mean, they see it everywhere. They see buskers everywhere, so they're used to it, and so they take it for granted and don't reward it as much as they probably should. I think Seattle's probably always going to have street musicians. It's a warm climate city, but even other cities down the West Coast don't have busking like they do here. Future busking is super important. I'd like to see people keep doing it. I probably will keep, even if I didn't need to do it, as far as if my band suddenly got famous and made a lot of money, I probably would still go out and busk once in a while. Because I love people, and so and you don't get any better feedback than people have no idea who you are.
They didn't cook quite long enough. That's why they're sticking to the bottom. Because I put the hot dogs on top of them, I think. Yep. The Red Dwarf higher self. I met my higher self, but he was too disgusted with me. He had to leave. These are real good. They're beef hot dogs. They're at great price. You can't force me to the ketchup. No. Yes, no. Ah!
Nothing to push you away.
Fantastic and the Styrofoam Meat Trays get started. I met Sid in, I think the year 2000 or so, something like that. And we used to both busk in the U District. And he would busk down by Starbucks and I would busk up by Tower Records. And we would busk a lot at the same time. And so I'd get a lot of people talking to me saying, "Oh, you sing so much better than that other guy," and blah blah. You know, he sounds like a screeching violin.
There goes a stingray, chased by a manta ray. There goes a dogfish, chased by a catfish. What's a piranha? He got the big killer whale. Rock lobster. Rock lobster. Okay, all right. Be on camera? Well, no, you're the star, bro. All right.
When we were playing, people were always saying, "You guys are great, man. You guys should start a band. You guys are great together." And so whatever. We didn't care about that, but it just seemed we were the real Tenacious D. But the Tenacious D of Seattle or whatever, But it was a natural fit. He plays lead guitar, and I'm the singer. I made him my friend, and we met every Sunday. I would take a day off of my work that I normally would work. I used to normally work, and I would go play with him. So I'd go play with him on Sundays, and we did that for a while. And then we found out, some of the kids on the Ave found out that we were trying to start a band, and they volunteered their house as a practice space for us. And so like Sid and eventually I moved into that house. But they said, "Why don't you just come over here and practice? We want you to play over here," and blah blah blah. And I was like, "Oh, awesome, thank you." And so we had a place to practice, and we didn't have any gear, nothing. And somebody Sid had met when he was out busking was Dominic, and Dominic Johns was our first drummer, and he was with us the longest. He was there to start through like 3 different bass players, and then we found another kid who was a busker, and his name was G-Note, and Greg or G-Note, and he came over and he started hanging out, and then we got our band going and we started doing shows, and we were sitting around having a conversation about that, and I was like, well, we were having a conversation about David Bowie, and I was like, Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars, and Dominic said, hey, yeah, we're more like Tim Fantastic and the Styrofoam Meat Trays, as a joke, and then it's just everybody goes, "Hey, that's great, we love that, that's great." And so like Sid and Dominic and G-Note voted on the name, and I voted against it. I was like, no, I don't want to be called Tim Fantastic and the Styrofoam Meat Trays. But unfortunately, I lost the vote, and so we became Tim Fantastic and the Styrofoam Meat Trays. Being a team player that I am, I went along with it, and I became the center. I didn't really want to be Tim Fantastic, but I was okay with being Brother Timothy, but, Tim Fantastic it is, and so here I am, Timothy L. Fantastic. Scavenge. I found a guitar or bass in the garbage and gave it new guts. I'm always about rescuing trash and making it treasure. My Roland amp was a European powered amp that ran on 220, and what I did was I Dominic put a pinball machine transformer in it, and we converted it to 110, and so we got that for free because somebody was just throwing it away, and I actually carried it around with me in my car when I was living in my car for like 8 years, or so. No, I had it like 6 years, and I slept with it. I slept with it next to me, even though I had no use for it, and I knew I was going to need it someday, so I held on to it. That's pretty much how we got that one. And the Fender was given to me when we started the band. All the stuff has just been gifts. I haven't bought an instrument. I try to create around suggestion. So I'm probably the catalyst. I'm the catalyst of the band. I'm the creative energy. But I want to make sure everybody is involved in the creation. So most of the time I write my songs when I'm out busking. And I bring it into the band and present it as a new idea. And I think, but I'm willing to change whatever, you know. A lot of the arrangement I leave open. I'm incredibly creative as far as that goes. I can write a song about anything. You know, the little piece of dirt on the ground, hey, that's a hit. You know, you know, the spider walking up the wall, hey, that's the best song ever written. You know, it's sort of like I breathe, I live, I can communicate musically. I live in a musical. I am the 1930s musical. How, you know, every conversation is a song. See, that's me. I am Mr. Overdramatic, melodramatic guy. So to me, creativity is a natural thing, and the more pain I have, the more resources I have to create. But it is very painful, yes. But I can create out of joy, but I probably think that the best songs are out of pain. Everything's an inspiration. There's nothing that isn't inspiration to me. But I mean, not everybody has that ability, but I've been doing it for a long time. So after, you know, standing on the edge of existence and reaching your hand out into the creation of space and reaching your hand into the infinite inner self and the infinite outer self, you realize, wow, like there's infinite possibility out there. And so everything is an inspiration. I mean, everything should be an inspiration to you. Everything in your heart and everything around you is your inspiration. And don't be afraid. What should be your inspiration is fearlessness. Because what keeps inspiration from giving birth is ego. And so if you can lose your ego and your control of the situation and just create, you know, and I think that's inspiration itself. So in that sense, anything is inspirational. Anything, there's no excuse not to be inspired. Everything in your life should inspire you. You are breathing. That's your inspiration. You know, I mean, everything in your life is so important. Everything in your life is your meaning and your existence, and is your inspiration, if you can look at it that way. The inspiration is the inspiration to breathe. It's the willingness to fail. It's what allows creativity to flow. Because you're going to fail a lot, but you're going to succeed every once in a while. It's an endless supply. You know, I always believe, people ask me this question, they go, what's the best song you've ever written? And I always say, well, it's the one I'm working on now. So to me, the new song is the best song because it's new, it's fresh, it's exciting. I'm not dead yet, you know? Proves that I'm still pumping with soothing, oozing creativity and oozing passion, that I still am passionate about the soul and the soul in the universe, and I still am in complete contact with that creative energy and the force that creates all matter. And I believe that even though the song is just creating a song, it's the will of human creating and manifesting and making tangible. So it's first starting with a belief and a faith, and then that faith becoming reality. So to me, I believe anybody can write a song if you believe you can. Hope for the Meat Tray is the best. I hope the best. I can't always control what happens, but I'm making an effort. But it's hard to make the effort that I want to make when I'm just struggling to pay my rent. And so my hope is great, but reality sometimes gets in the way of hope. But I'm hoping that we can go on the road, that we can get a van, and that we can at least take our show on the road. That we said we went to Chicago, we went to New York, we went to Florida, we went to Miami, we went to fucking London, we went to it'd be great. Nothing in the world would make me happier than to be able to say I took my show on the road, and we fucking played all over the world. If we play all over the world, and then I'd say I could die a happy man, because that's what I wanted to do with this when I started, and it's always because I wanted to send the music around the world.
Game is not a shitty game. My game is about love. And I'm Tim Fantastic, and we're the Tim Fantastic of the Styrofoam Meat Trays. And we're ready to get some noise on in this place. I'd like to dedicate this night to all the people that couldn't be here because we're just bastards. All right. I love them still.
creative energy within me insists on that creation. In some sense, the heartache gives me more creative power. Because I turn that negative and I turn it and I make it into a positive. And I turn and create more music. And I'm able to create more and more music. Because they're negative. What they want to throw me as crap. I say one man's garbage is another man's treasure. So they throw me garbage and I'm going to give them back treasure. You know, so I won't, you know, so I guess that's why I keep going. Because, you know, at least, you know, if you got heartache, you know, at least you know your heart's beating. Because if you ain't got no heartache, you don't give a fuck, and you're in trouble.
They generally have CDs sometimes floating around, and they have some CDs, so hunt them down. Gas isn't cheap. Let's give it up for all the groups we had here this evening. One more time for Project Doom and the Ghetto Busters. Yeah. As well as, what was the first act? Machine Freak. Machine.
Machine Freak.
Oh yeah. We do have one more performer coming up here in just a moment.
It breaks my heart to see people who should care about people who don't, you know, who can't see outside their own hand when they're walking down the street with the iPhone. You know, that's they don't see you anymore. And you know, it breaks my heart. And yeah, there's all kinds of days where I want to quit. And at some point, I tell people the music wants to live. I try to sabotage myself all the time. And not because I'm doing it intentionally, but because I'm tired and I want to quit. But the music won't let me quit. The music wants to live. It has its own life.
You nailed it. I wanted to hear more of your lyrics, so I kept wanting to go back to the speaker cabinet.
What do you think? Oh, you could ask them to
I
check
love
that
your
out. I thought it was
lyrics.
My hope for the meat trays is that people will go out and get the music and like the music and realize, yeah, we're not the greatest band in the world. We're not trying to be. We're just trying to be who we are. And people will appreciate that we're just trying to be us. We're not trying to be, I'm not trying to be, you know, Kiss. I'm not trying to be David Bowie. I'm just trying to be what I am. I'm trying to create the music that everybody can identify with. But in some sense, you know, if you have an intellectual depth, sometimes it can be hard for people to identify with more deep thought music. But I believe that, you know, most people can. And, you know, it's a numbers game. They say if one half of the percent of the people out there like my music and go out to Amazon.com and buy it, I'll be a very rich man. I mean, there's like 7 billion people on the planet. And if you can get 1/2 of 1/2 of 1/2%, of those people to like your music, that's an awful lot of people liking your music. And so I believe that my music can appeal to way more than that. At least 1%. I think 1% of the people like my music. So 1% of the 7 billion likes your music. That's a lot of people.
Should be one thing about healthcare is $12,000, $15,000 a year, like it was on average $25,000, $30,000 for people a year. That's half of what some would pay or more. So if you're quoting business, and I'm not in business, I'm in media, but I have to fund myself, so I am in business. Most people in media don't do that.